Title: Bees, the Earth Without Bees. The World They Built. Time-lapse of blooming flowers, ancient forests, and bees in flight. Introduces bees as ancient architects of the natural world, pollinating plants for over 100 million years. Establishes their evolutionary legacy and beauty in nature's design. Masters of pollination. Bees pollinating flowers, animation of pollen transfer, microscopic shots of pollen grains. Explains the mechanics of pollination. Introduces the symbiotic bond between bees and plants, how this partnership evolved and sustains most life on Earth. 1 in 3 bites. Vibrant markets, family dinners, lush orchards. Demonstrates how 1 in every 3 bites of food is made possible by pollination. Covers almonds, apples, berries, coffee, and more. Farmers and chefs share insights. Like, share and subscribe. To help the channel grow, let's continue. The buzz begins to fade. Empty hives, slow-motion bees flying erratically, data graphs. Introduces colony collapse disorder. Features beekeepers describing the mysterious disappearances and the emotional toll of losing entire colonies. The poison in the fields. Crop spraying drones, chemical labels, dead bees. Examines the role of pesticides, especially neonicotinoids, in bee mortality. Interviews with scientists, and conflict between industry interests and ecology. Landscapes of loss. Bulldozers clearing forests, shrinking wildflower meadows, aerial views of monoculture farms. Shows how industrial agriculture and urban sprawl are erasing natural habitats critical for bees' survival and food variety. Climate of change. Melting glacier, drought-hit farms, early blossoms wilting. Explores how climate change disrupts bees' seasonal rhythms, causing mismatches between flowering plants and pollinator activity. Parasites and plagues. High magnification footage of mites on bees, lab research, infested hives. Investigates the deadly Varroa mite, fungal infections, and viruses spreading through bee populations, compounded by weakened immune systems. Not just honeybees. Solitary bees, mason bees, bumblebee colonies in the wild. Highlights the vast diversity of wild bee species and their unique roles in local ecosystems. Many are more efficient pollinators than honeybees. A global alarm. News headlines from around the world, expert panels, protests. Presents bee decline as a global crisis. Spotlights countries like China, India, and Brazil where pollinator loss is already impacting agriculture and trade. Like, share and subscribe. To help the channel grow, let's continue. Farmers on the front lines. Hand-pollinating crops in Asia, interviews with struggling farmers, aerial views of farms. Farmers adapt with higher costs, lower yields, or manual pollination. Some innovate with native bee species, while others face economic collapse. The fragile food web. Food chain animations, animals foraging, forest floor. Shows how pollinators underpin ecosystems. Without bees, plants die off, affecting herbivores, predators, and decomposers in a cascading collapse. From forest to table. Journey of an almond from tree to market, bee trucks transporting hives. Traces the supply chain of pollinated crops. Emphasizes how entire food systems rely on healthy, mobile bee colonies. Science in the hive. Beekeeping labs, genetic mapping, microsensors on bees. Focus on cutting-edge research into bee behavior, hive health, and resilience. Profiles the scientists racing to decode and preserve the species. Can we replace them? Robotic pollinators, drone swarms, human hand pollination. Evaluates technological fixes and their feasibility, costs, and ethical questions. Can innovation truly replace a billion years of evolution? The price of neglect. Market inflation, food scarcity protests, empty produce shelves. Predicts the economic and social impact of widespread pollinator loss. Rising food prices, shortages, and increasing pressure on developing nations. Indigenous wisdom. Tribal rituals, native farming, storytelling by elders. Highlights ancient ecological practices that honored pollinators, agroforestry, seasonal planting, spiritual reverence. Lessons from indigenous conservation. Bee guardians. Urban rooftop beekeepers, school gardens, community hives. Inspiring grassroots movements from cities to rural areas. Everyday people becoming stewards of bees, planting wildflowers and protecting hives. Restoring the buzz. Rewilded meadows, bee hotels, pesticide-free farms. Practical solutions in action, policy changes, sustainable farming, habitat corridors, and international cooperation to regenerate pollinator populations. The choice before us. Children releasing bees, sunrise over pollinated fields, hope-filled music. A call to action. Emphasizes that bees' fate is intertwined with our own. We must choose between collapse or regeneration and act now. Like, share and subscribe to help the channel grow. Thank you.